I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we talk to author Frank P. Daversa about his best-selling book, Spirituality in the 21st Century. It is a wonderfully crafted work that's concise and gets to the heart of the matter on issues all of us must navigate in our lives.
Frank, thanks for joining me today.
Nice to be with you, Logan.
Wonderful to have you. Now, if you were to summarize this book or write a log line, what would it be?
The book enhances the reader's knowledge of spirituality, life, and the world. It details steps necessary to advance the reader's spiritual understanding leading up to enlightenment. After reading this book, readers should have a sound understanding of spirituality in the 21st century.
Excellent, excellent. And what was the hardest part of writing this book? Was it your author bio? That sometimes can be difficult, right?
No, my author's bio was easy to write. It was simply autobiographical. All I needed was to rely on was my memory.
Sounds good. And what's your favorite time to write and why?
The evening. I've always been a night person, and that's when I'm the most relaxed.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, how do you think being a writer has helped you as a person?
It has helped me express my views effectively and to think through my thoughts.
Authors, of course, deal with words. Do you have a favorite word and why?
Thoughtful. It is what I strive to be at all times.
Yeah, and I found your book very thoughtful indeed. Now, do you have any writing buddies?
Not really. Outside of a handful of friends and family to read through my rough drafts, I do my writing on my own.
Okay, all right. And what does being a successful author look like to you?
First, to have my works recognized and accepted by professional peers. Second, to sell lots of my books. Third, to be acquired by traditional publishers and movie studios.
What I enjoyed about your book is that it's almost a practical guide to living, because you address a lot of real world issues, from the Voting Rights Act to gun control. Politics plays a part in your writing. Tell me about your views on that subject.
I have identified a pattern of change involving politics. It concerns the development of public freedoms. I believe God allows a particular party to come into power when he wants to grant certain rights to us. When we reach a point at which we begin taking these rights for granted, he allows the other party to come into power to effectively take them away until such time as we are willing to fight for them again. Low voter turnout is a classic example of this. The right to vote is fundamental to our democracy. Voter apathy severely diminishes that right. That's why key provisions of the Voting Rights Act were struck down by the Supreme Court in 2013. The law will remain that way until such time as we fully respect the right to vote again. As long as we behave this way, there will always be a viable opposition party. This is part of the cycle of life. That's why history often repeats itself. It is God's way of teaching us a lesson over and over again until we get it right. It's all part of God's plan. We voted in high numbers this past election, which is why Joe Biden was elected president. He will help reverse the damage done by the Trump administration. So what is the moral to the story? Treasure your rights, or else you run the risk of losing them.
What would you like readers to take away from your work?
The book is designed to be inspirational. No matter what your circumstance, I want readers to know there is always a better way to proceed in life, so long as you put the necessary effort into finding it. I try to provide a vision of hope towards spirituality and life in general.
Is there anything controversial in your book?
Actually, there's more than one. To start with, I do not believe in the devil's role of thriving on stealing souls on a grand scale and leading people into temptation for all eternity. Instead, I view the devil's role metaphorically as a potential for bad deeds in each of us. I do, however, wholeheartedly believe in a place called hell. Once we reach adulthood, each of us is the sole arbiter of whether we end up there or in heaven.
Understood, understood. Now, you talk about gun reform in your book. What are your views on gun reform and spirituality?
Too many lives are needlessly lost to gun violence. Gun reform is an absolute travesty in this country. Mass shootings keep happening, but Congress does nothing to stop them. The paralysis in Washington boils down to one simple factor. The NRA is in control of Republicans. As long as that situation persists, progress will be difficult. People have to share responsibility for changing the status quo, and that they need to vote congressmen who failed to act out of office. To realize meaningful gun reform, three things must happen. First, we need universal background checks on all gun purchases. Second, we need to ban military-style assault rifles. Third, we need to ban high-capacity magazine clips. Such measures are not going to stop all shootings, but they represent an important step in the right direction. Prayers are nice, but we need real action.
All right. Now, when you're writing a book, how many drafts do you usually produce?
Too numerous to mention. Some parts of the book go through more revision than others. It depends on the nature of the material contained therein.
Once again, the book is called Spirituality in the 21st Century by Frank P. Daversa. It's a wonderfully written work that's a real guide for daily living, and you can order it on Amazon.com. I'm Logan Crawford, and this is Spotlight. Thanks for watching.